right. It's 7. I say we start right on time for those of us that are here. Hi, and happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to another Teachers Teach Teachers. I am one of the hosts. My name is Virginia Quinby. I teach first grade, and I am among some other things, I am a moderator on the What I Should Have Learned in Facebook page, which it's that relationship that sort of got this whole initiative off the ground. Kata is she runs the Goyen Foundation. It's a fellowship program. Kata, I'm going to do, Kata's losing her voice, so I'm not stepping over her. This is with full permission. So Kata is very much the driving force behind these evenings. And essentially, we all just come together so that we can learn from each other and look at best practice. And while Erin, you can introduce yourself because I would do you a disservice and leave off the best stuff. So as we're presenting, if you have any questions or comments, or if there's something, quite honestly, that you're doing that we could all benefit from and do as well, please share your talents and throw that in the chat. Kate has heard me say this 1,000 times in education. Pretty much all we do is plagiarize and then customize, right? We learn from the best and then we make it our own. So tonight, because you registered, tonight we're going to talk about fluency. And I'm really excited about, this is a very different type of event because typically we sort of keep the grades, we'll do like a K2 or like a 3-5, but tonight I'm grade 1 and Erin is grade 5. So I think it's going to be fascinating to see, for Erin to see what are they doing with me? And then for me to see what happens after they've been passed on and on and on and on and where they end with him. But, and the reason why I say that is for me in the younger grade 1, did I say I was grade 1? Grade 1. If they can't read, they can't read fluently. So really my job is to teach them to read. And that is by, that grapheme phoneme correspondence and knowing exactly how to decode. Once we are getting stronger with that, then I start to move more into the fluency piece. And my whole goal with phonics and teaching phonics is to eventually stop phonicsing, right? Once they have it, then they can just read fluently because they don't need to stop, try to figure out the word. And then that's what gets them to their comprehension piece when they don't have to think about the phonics and the rules and the sounds and the letters. What you're looking at is basically, these are the students that I will start working with fluency. I do a lot whole group, but when I really narrow in, I try to make sure the kids have these skills. And I am not reading you this slide because you've all been to first grade and you had a great first grade teacher that taught you how to read. And I hate when people read slides to me. Sorry, Erin, you can read slides to me if that was your plan. So sorry, let me take that back. So in any event, I do whole group instruction on phonics. I do teach fluency, and it starts with me reading aloud with my read alouds. And, it's the best, anyone that is on here, K2, I am absolutely certain that you would say the same thing, that the best part of our job is those rich read alouds where we get to become complete and total goofballs. So that's where my fluency starts, where they're listening to me and they're listening to me read fluently with all sorts of language and sounds and all that good stuff. But it is a complex skill and it requires them to then eventually read accurately as well. What I start with whole group is, again, there's a lot of modeling and we talk exactly about it. And y'all please be kind because I sing a lot in these videos, and full disclosure, I'm not a singer. I'm a first grade teacher and we have to, it comes with the territory. So, Kate has said before that when we do these events, we make ourselves as teachers presenting to you very vulnerable. Nothing more so than when it's a video of me singing. In any event, this is one of my whole group fluency lessons.
Yes.
When we read like we are
talking.
Good. If there's a question mark, our voices will go. If there's an exclamation mark, we will sound very
Excited.
But you will not.
You are you.
I appreciate that. If you're reading and you know. So I actually sing it twice. I will not make you listen to it twice. So you can see I even tee up how to use the punctuation and how to use the sentences and the words. And I do this almost every single day and they never tire of it. So the most important thing I do, like I said, is modeling. And this video, it's I do it and then we do it together and then we do it together and then we do it together a little bit more. Okay. The first read, it's just me and you get to listen. Okay? But I still want your reading finger.
Reading things.
Now I still want you to track along because if you're reading and you know it,
Point along.
if you're reading and you
You know it, point along. One of my fingers track the words. Listen closely to what you heard. If you're reading and you know it, point along. Yippee!
Okay, reading finger,
Up, up,
reading finger.
down.
The month of March is marching in. Hurrah! Hurrah! The month of March, let spring begin. Hurrah! Hurrah! The month of March is marching in, and birds return from where they've been. And we all feel good when March is marching in. Wait, I'm going to do that again. But I'm going to kick it up. Should I kick it up?
Yeah!
Should I kick it up?
Yeah!
Totally am. Reading finger.
Up,
Reading finger.
down.
The month of March is marching in. Hurrah! Hurrah! The month of March, let spring begin. Hurrah! Hurrah! The month of March is marching in, and birds return from where they've been, and we all feel good when March is marching in. All right, I was going to read it too, but I like how you joined along. Let's try it this time, and we'll echo. Okay?
This was so good.
Good. First I read, and then.
I read.
So there was, when I said hurrah, hurrah, I tried to sound excited. Do you know why? Take a look.
Oh!
If you know it, say it.
Because there's an exclamation point.
Oh, okay, you ready? Reading finger.
Up,
Reading finger?
down.
Remember, I say, then you say. The month of March is marching in, hurrah, hurrah.
The month of March is marching in. Hurrah! Hurrah!
The month of March, let spring begin, hurrah, hurrah.
The month of March is marching in.
Let's do that one together. The month of March, let spring begin, hurrah, hurrah. My turn. The month of March is marching in, and birds return from where they've been. The month of March is marching in, and birds return from where they've been. My turn. And we all feel good when March is marching in. And we all feel good when March is marching in. We're going to echo one more time. We're going to speed it up.
Okay.
Okay. You ready? Ready? Okay. Echo or choral? What do you want? Echo or choral? Choral, that's what I was thinking. Okay. Ready? Start with me. The reading finger. Good. The month of March is marching in. Hurrah! Hurrah! The month of March, let spring begin. Hurrah! Hurrah! The month of March is marching in, and birds return from where they've been, and we all feel good when March is marching in. Fantastic. Next, you're going to port me. Okay? First I read, and then my
Partner reads.
fantastic. Yep. So the best part of that video is the woods. The hood and the woods. So you can see how there was like a lot of scaffolding and gradual release of responsibility there. I do 2 poems a week. I absolutely love my poems. I use it for fluency. I use it for decoding. I also use it if they're noisy. If I just start singing, whatever poem we're doing, they stop and they join me. Kata, I forgot to ask you before, did you get I sent you the link of all the poems?
Yeah, I'll drop it in the chat.
If you want to throw it in the chat. So again, this is real K2. So I have like 4 poems a month, and I have a document with all the poems. If you want them, they are yours to use. You'll see some of the graphics are really old because they were handed down to me, and I'm never going to change them because I love them. Anyway, so like I said, you saw Coral, you saw Echo. So there was a lot of me, and then us, and now it's their turn.
The month of March is March in hurrah, hurrah. The month of March, that spring begin, hurrah, hurrah. The month of March is marching in, and the boys return from where they've been, and we all feel good when March is marching in. The month of March is marching in, hurrah, hurrah. The month of March, let's spring begin, hurrah, hurrah. And the month of March is marching in, and the birds return from where they've been, and we all feel good when March is marching in.
You've probably noticed already too that reading finger is a non-negotiable. For now, that's another thing. It will, it'll eventually go away, but tracking is just incredibly important. So some more choral reading. Oh, this is for Kata's daughter. It's her favorite book. All right, friends, before we start, we read from left to right, always. Nice catch there, Milo. Everybody, first page, ABC. Anybody need a minute? Reading finger. Reading finger. A told B and B told C, I'll meet you at the top of the coconut tree. Turn over. Reading finger. Reading finger. We, said D to E, F, G. I'll beat you to the top of the coconut tree. Reading finger. Whoa. Chicka, chicka, boom, boom. Will there be enough room? Here comes H up the coconut tree. So one of the other benefits of core reading and doing repeated readings is this is some authentic text that they can always go back to and read whenever they want.
And Virginia, we got a question for you in the chat.
Yes.
Yeah, take a look. I'm not going to subject you.
Oh. Okay.
I can also just unmute. It was about the fluency practice with poems, and then when they go to read something else, like an informational text, are you seeing they can use that same skill?
I would say definitely yes, but it's also just a portion of what I do for fluency. So it's so I think all of the things together will really end up lending to their to becoming more fluent readers. But I would say definitely yes. And there's times when they're reading to me that like I can hear certain nuances in their voice, or maybe they get a little sing-songy, and it definitely comes from all the poetry. Good? Did that answer?
Yeah, thank you so much.
So something that Jan Hasbrook taught me, and she's actually, I think she credited someone else, but she talks a lot about the importance of when they're reading, that they should read like they're talking. And I will pull the kids back oftentimes. Well, you'll see. This is the video. You'll see. Okay, friends, let's read this together. I always yawn at this late hour. All right, who wants to do it like they're talking? Caitlin, you want to try it? You're already yawning. Go ahead.
I always yawn at this hour.
You look sleepy. Ben, do you want to try it or do you want to defer?
I will try it.
Okay.
I always yawn at this late hour.
What? What do you think, friends?
Yeah!
Soph, you want to try it or you want to defer?
I want to try.
Try it? Great.
I always yawn at this late hour.
Ridiculous. What do you think, everybody?
Good. Yes!
All right, so
You have one other question about Reader's Theater.
okie dokie.
Yeah, I was just asking about experience with the readers' theater because one thing I found with poetry is that sometimes um, kids can memorize them and aren't actually tracking the text, but with the readers' theater, they have to sort of follow along for their part. So I was wondering if that's something also for practice with fluency that is a routine that you use.
Definitely is, and you're going to see one. Jan, it's like we're tied together. Yes, actually, I do a lot of that. Well, I'm actually doing one this week that I've never done before. We'll see how it goes. So in my small group, the slide says, small group fluency by happenstance. What that means is first grade, my small group is working on foundation, right? But that doesn't mean if I have a disfluent reader, I will do what I can to make them fluent. And I always say, if you want to know the importance of fluency, just listen to a disfluent reader. And as teachers, we can't let it stay that way. So there's a couple of things that I'll do in small group. Oh, actually, I think this is maybe not. I don't remember. It's a great video. I just don't remember what we're about to see. You got your creepy reading fingers on?
Yes.
All right. You ready to use your voice to read it like it's a story? Fantastic. Yes. All right. Creepy reading fingers up. Creepy reading fingers down. Go ahead, start together. Jill.
Jill and Bill wish to toss the ball. The ball hit Bill on the shelf. Then Bill fell. Did he yell?
Read that sentence again with a question in your voice.
Yes.
1 second, Isaac. Okay, go back to did Bill yell? There's a question mark. Read it again.
Did Bill yell?
So good.
Yes, he did. A lot. Jill said, Bill, you yell a lot.
Good. Say that again like there's an exclamation mark at the end.
Jill said, Bill, you yell a lot.
Nice.
Bill.
All right, so that was a decodable passage. And again, even in small groups, a couple of repeated readings and focusing on punctuation. And punctuation is hugely important for fluency. This video is, again, the child was reading a little too robotically, so then I modeled what it should sound like, and then she tried it again. All right, Caitlin, read that page for me.
Bats are the only mammals that can fly. Bats swim, look like hands with skin
Stretched.
between the long fingers.
Good. Okay, now, Kate, now I'm going to read, and I'm going to use my voice to help talk about bats. Listen, and then you can do it just like me. You ready? Okay, so bats are the only mammals that can fly. Try just that sentence for me, just like that.
Bats are the only mammals that can fly.
So good. Ladies, look at each other. Give each other a looking good cheer, and we're going to move on.
Looking good.
Can you stand how cute they are? So this, the really fancy word for this is the neurological impress model. It's essentially row, row, row your boat. So they just give me a little bit of a head start, and then they come right in and they try to read it just like I'm reading it. Okay, you want to give me a head start, and then you'll come in right behind me, and we're gonna talk. We're gonna read like we're talking. Yes. Who's gonna be louder? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I believe in you both. Yes.
Yes.
Can we give Meg a sack of shells? Ask us.
Ask us.
Oh. Anne hushes them.
And hushes them.
Yes, but shh. Don't tell Meg that she will have a bash. Okay, said Max. See you there. Just so we did that, and then they read it again on their own. Question, Kata? Oh, bless you. Jen Bloom, this is for you. All right, friends. So the other day, we went to the college and we saw the play, James and the Giant Peach, and it was so much fun, and it was fantastic. And we clapped and we laughed. Well, that's because the actors did such a great job on stage, and a lot of that had to do with how they used their voice, right? And how they talked out to us. Now it's your turn. You're going to be in your own play. Uh-huh. And it's called The Caterpillar and the Butterfly. And we had a little practice together. Caterpillar is Azake. All right, Mr. Caterpillar. Remember, you have a whole audience listening. Not really, you know, me. Okay, go ahead, kiddo.
Oh no!
Ooh.
Oh dear! I am in a tizzy. Hello there, Caterpillar. What are you in a tizzy for? About? I need to change into a butterfly, but I don't know how.
Nice.
No need to worry. I did it. I can help you do it. Oh, thank you. But where to start? Let's start with what the change is called. Metamorphosis.
You are really getting there. You did a better job with Metamorphosis than Caterpillar. So yes, Reader's Theater, definitely. And then this is a poem that was actually a decodable poem for my small group. Should we read it one more time together?
Yeah.
Yes? Can I have a little more enthusiasm? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Reading finger.
Up,
Reading finger.
down.
I do not think that I can go
achoo
to school today. I've got a cough and cold. Achoo! That just won't go away. I need to rest and eat. Achoo! A bowl of yummy soup. I know it's time to sleep. Achoo!
Choo.
My eyelids start to droop. Getting well could be achoo! So nice and quick and easy. If only I was not achoo! So achoo! Achoo! Sneezy. You guys have nailed the sneezing. Who's spring?
Me.
You want to start us?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I do not think I can go achoo to school today. I got a cough and cold. Achoo!
That.
That just won't go away.
Read that last part. You have a cold that won't go away. That just won't go away.
Just
Try that again.
won't go away.
So good. Jay, you want to try it from there? We're gonna jump over to your friend. Go ahead, kiddo.
Wait, where do we start?
Right after she did. Thanks. You're a good partner.
I need to rest and eat achoo to
A bowl.
a bowl of yummy soup. I know it's time to sleep. Achoo! My eyelids start to droop.
Show me droop. Show me droopy eyelids. Oh, you can barely stay awake. Okay. How do you want to do the last one? Together or
Together. Together.
just you two though?
Okay.
Okay, go.
Getting. Wait, well, okay. Getting well. Could be
Could. Hold on. Could. Oh, you little devil. Could. Getting well. Could.
be achoo. So nice and quick and easy. If only I was not achoo. So achoo. Achoo. Easy.
Oh, they're so cute. I can't stand it. Kata, here's our favorite video. I work it in every time if I can. So one of the other things that I will do, again, to avoid anything disfluent is preloading vocabulary. And I think some of you might have already seen this, but it's worth it. Okay. So there's not too many words in this book that I thought you may not know. These were the two that I found. The first word is muck.
Muck is a noun, and it's another word for. Do you know, Charlie?
Yeah.
What?
It's like mud.
It's not like mud. It's mud. All right. The other one, I feel like you might know this word already, but I just want to make sure. The other word is fin. And it's talking about. Bingo. All right. I believe we know what a fin is. Fantastic.
All right, and my last, so with some of my older kids, what I'll do is I'll allow them, not allow them, but they will take some time and they'll preview the book themselves and read a page that they think that they will be able to really nail the fluency, and then they'll model for us.
All right. Trudy, you want to read us your post-it notes page first?
Yes.
Good.
It was such fun to chat and fish. The kids saw lots of ducks and wolves, but the kids did not get a fish.
Okay. So the kids didn't get a fish. Do we think they're sad or happy?
Sad.
I think, oh, that was cool. It's like you're all singing to me. Yeah, I think they're kind of sad. So listen, I'm going to read it, and then I want you to read it the way I did. But the kids did not get a fish.
But the kids did not get a fish.
Oh, man. Poor sad kids. Yeah, you like that, Charlie? Okay, Charlie, you're up.
The kids and Jack hop off the ship, but they can see the fin by the dock. Ah, I want to go back. I want my mom. I want my dad, they yell.
Okay. I see the punctuation mark in there. That tells you to be excited. And it's a exclamation.
Mark.
Start from the word ah and put that exclamation mark in there.
Okay. Ah, I want to go back. I want my mom. I want my dad. They yell.
Do you feel like they want their mom and dad?
Yeah.
I sure do. All right, Miss Luna.
The kids look at Zach. Zach said, which had hit the rock? They asked Zach, how will you fix your ship?
Okay, hold 1 sec. I see another exclamation mark at the end of that. And it's the one that is the question, which goes, whoa. Put that in. Put this in. Whoa. Try that. Start from how will.
How will you fix your ship?
Oh. Is she asking?
Yeah.
Does she want to know?
Yeah.
She sure does.
All right, so that's what I have for you. Before I pass you off to our fifth grade world, anything I can do for anybody? All right, my friend, all you.
Well, thank you. I'm going to echo the sentiments that have been added to the chat field. That was absolutely delightful. And clearly your classroom culture is off the charts. To be very clear, my kids will recite this to you over and over again. There's no joy in my classroom. So we just grind. That's all we do. And we'll demonstrate that for you right now. All right. With luck, you see a PowerPoint. I get a thumbs up. And I'm going to sort of launch you into the content. If you are old, continue to share. If you're old like me, you remember we used to call these things an anticipatory set. Now they're called a hook, any number of other things. So my big claim here is fluency. It's good. So if what Virginia shared with you was not enough, here's my case for why you may want to bring this outcome into your classroom. So in a moment, I'm going to put a text in front of you. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. And I wanted you to read through the text and just monitor two things for you. How far do you get with the text? And then secondly, what is your comprehension? So a little metacognition right now. So you're going to, again, how far do you get? And then did you understand it? So 30 seconds beginning now. And that was 30 seconds. That's all you got. So again, I want you to you're reflecting on where did you get in that passage? How'd we do with it? And we're going to do something again, identical process. I'm going to put a text in front of you. You're going to get 30 seconds and you're asking yourself, how far did you get? And then what was your comprehension like? So go ahead. And that was 30 seconds. We're not going to go to breakout rooms. I think you sort of understand the rhetorical device of this, which is what happened when your fluency broke down a little bit and how that impact your comprehension. And similarly, what happened when your fluency rates increased and what was your comprehension very likely like. So for me, a little bit formal here. I'm going to just sort of run through why I think fluency is important to bring into your classroom. Consider strategies to increase fluency or promote it in your room. And then finally, and this was in the chat thread several times, I will direct you to several resources to help bring this to life, certainly in that sort of 3-6 band, and then we can extend that even further and a little bit lower depending on the readiness of your students. I didn't even bother with the pleasantries. My name's Aaron Grossman. I'm a fifth grade teacher. If you need any more than that, I'm happy to share my mom's email address and she will paragraph for you. So she is available to do that. So let's just be clear on what we mean by fluency. I love the fact that Virginia noted Jan Hausbrook at the beginning, but it's again that ability to read quickly and accurately. And then I think the part that we disappointingly leave off is that prosody, that expression. So reading with appropriate pace, expression, and smoothness. And pace for me, interestingly, that's the word I use with fifth graders, but what we mean is it sound conversational? Uh, and then that last point about appropriate rate, about 50th percentile, what we seem to think, the most current research is if we're somewhere between the 50th and 70th percentile, we're in good shape. Speed reading and going faster than that, our comprehension tends to deepen. If we're below that 50th percentile, predictably, much like we modeled just a moment ago, your comprehension falls. So if we know what it is, I love this slide from Dr. Tim Brzezinski, and we'll share these slides in case you want to share this with other people. Again, we're not going to have enough time for me to break this down, but I love the metaphor, surface level and deep level. The stuff that we can see the word study, we can see their ability to code. Similarly, we can track fluency. We can give them a probe, an RCBM, and we can see how automatic they are with word recognition. What we are unable to see, and this is the leap of faith, although research is really consistent with this, is when kids are strong with the things above or that are surface level, the stuff we can see, then the stuff we can't see, that comprehension seems to be strengthened as well. And if we want to go a little bit deeper with that, the overwhelming majority we see in differentiating some of our comprehension scores of that variance has to do with the ability for a child to read quickly and accurately across a piece of paper. So if you are like me, this is how you probably bring fluency into your classroom. So you saw it in Virginia video, we model it, we do some kind of choral or echo reading. As we get into the intermediate grades, sadly, those things begin to drop off, and we do a lot of what we call wide reading. So here's a passage, sit side by side, shoulder to shoulder, partner read, switching every paragraph or whatever, maybe it's every page. Deep reading, which is where I'm going to focus, and I'm going to lean very heavily into reader's theater. So almost as I talk about fluency going forward, I'm going to talk almost exclusively about reader's theater. And then we can see this idea of phrasing, and I might be able to give you an example of that, although Virginia modeled that beautifully for us. As we get into those intermediate grades, so this is the qualifier. So assuming a child can read, which is, I don't want to make light of the fact that for some of our students and some of our communities, that is a massive lift. But if they're coming into our classrooms and they're able to read, that's where I'm sort of picking up on. So this is what wide range reading looks like. And again, this comes from Dr. Timmerzinski, although Hasbrook and Dr. Chase Young, other people who operate in this space, will make a similar claim. And you can sort of see these representations, the A, B, C, D. This is that transfer. And again, somebody put that in the chat field, which is what happens when we're reading. If we're doing wide range, so that sort of every day we're reading something different, you can see there's very little transfer. So we do a lot of work with text A on Monday, and then we're into P, and there might, or text B on Tuesday, and it will help a little bit, but it's sort of around the margins. What seems to help the most is repeated reading. So whether this is with poetry or with songs, and again, what I lean into most heavily is reader's theater. You can see there's text A. We read it multiple times throughout the week, very predictably. They're going to be able to read that more fluently at the end of the week. But then look at text B, where I pick up with text B. So a brand new experience the following week. They are stronger readers. And if we continue to do that over time, you can see where C lifts off. And so again, bringing reading fluency into our outcome, the idea specifically repeated reading has a lot of transfer for our kids. And if you don't believe me, again, here's your parenthetical. Those people who are doing something like poetry or reader's theater. And if you know Tim Rzinski, he also leans into a lot of songs and chants. Those kids tend to grow a lot more than kids who are doing either wide range or perhaps not doing any fluency practice at all. All right. So this is how I bring it to life in my classroom. To be very clear, somebody put in a link from Dr. Chase Young early in the chat field. So I stole this from him. And as Virginia mentioned, you're right, what we do as teachers, we begin to iterate and we begin to build it out. So you will see all this in video in just a moment, but on Monday, I hand out reader's theater scripts. There's any number of ways I can get into groups, but the point is on Monday, they get the script and they read all the way through it. So at the very least, they're familiar with the part. And I'm sure there's some questions that percolate around highly impacted or kids who might be struggling or multi-language learners. We can circle back to that. But as a generalization, Monday, they get the script. And then on Tuesday, they get into their groups for the first time. So if you can picture a script with 4 parts, they find the other 3 students or classmates who have the same script. They'll read through that script together. They are identifying which part they want. They negotiate any kind of disagreement. But ultimately on Tuesday, knowing what their parts are, highlighting their parts, they will read through that script together. Then on Wednesday, they'll read through that script again, depending on the length of the script, at the very least once, sometimes as many as 3 times. And I'll show you some of those scripts. All of them, as was again posted in the thread, are available at just2teachers.com. Thursday, they do the same thing. We practice, 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 repeated, repeated, repeated. And then on Friday, we have one last chance to repeat, to practice, and then ultimately we're performing for our classmates. And so we're moving from a continuum of it might be pretty flat, those initial readings, but after all those repeated readings, that's when we get to prosody, that appropriate pace, smoothness, and lots of expression where it's appropriate. So that's what we'll watch right now. I was very fortunate this year, or I guess it was last year. I had a parent with way too many cameras, so he got lots of good angles as he filmed this for me. And then I'll lean into Virginia. I can see your screen. So if at some point the sound breaks down, just, audible gasp or just frowns, however you want to get my attention. Whoops, I clicked the wrong one. So this is quite literally the beginning of the school day. So this is Monday morning. The kids are doing the obligatory exercise of returning every work they may have to give me. And then they are signing up for scripts. If you look up, they'll have the title of a script and then there's a parenthetical. That lets the students know how many parts are in each script. All right, so you've signed up for a script. When I tell you the title of your script, you're going to come up here. Remember, we're just reading all the way through the script. When you're done reading through the entire script, go ahead and put this back into your classroom folder. If you are goods and services, go ahead and grab your script. If you are needs versus wants, come up here and grab your script. And again, all you're doing is reading all the way through. If you notice the scripts, by the way, it is one page, front to back. In general, and again, I'll get into greater detail, there's somewhere in the neighborhood of about 475 to 525 words. Almost without exception, every script is 3 to 4 parts. And then because of AI, we can make sure that everybody says the identical number of words. So when we're in the script, it's not a matter of one role has more words to share out loud than others. Instead, if you do that 500 divided by 4, everybody gets 125 words. And good for AI because they can rig it for me. If you juxtapose that to a lot of the basal programs that offer you up scripts, typically those take 30 to 45 minutes to get all the way through. And then they're not all created equal. And then worse, sometimes you've got like 12 role parts. So you've got one kid rolling around the floor, just desperately waiting for his one opportunity to say achoo. So I did not read that out loud, but that flashed up very quickly. So now it's Tuesday. I promise you, my kids come from homes where they do have change of clothing, but we wanted to record the entire cycle in one sitting. So it may appear as if everybody's wearing the same clothing, but it is Tuesday. They are now going to get into their groups. They're going to negotiate roles. They're going to read through the script for the first time together. So it's Tuesday. You're going to take out your script. You're going to find the people that you're reading with. When you found those people, first negotiate the parts, then highlight your part, and then go ahead and read through the entire script once or twice. Rochambeau.
Okay, so I'm the morsel of whatever guy, but I want to change his name to
If you change a name, make sure you've changed it all the way throughout so it doesn't confuse the listener. And again, now we're in Wednesday, Thursday. The idea is we are now on probably reading at certainly Wednesday. This is reading 3 or 4, Thursday, 5, 6, 7. And that's where I can really lean into making sure they're reading with prosody, and then kids can peer coach each other through that process as well.
You need wood, saw, happenings, and someone to build it. Humans. Our capital resources are always machines. Not always. Capital resources can be anything. Is the producer? Exactly. And it doesn't stop there.
Nicely done, you guys.
Needs or wants. Now we know. Choose wisely wherever you go.
And then Friday would be one last chance to meet with your group, practice, and then they perform, and we'll talk about different sort of versions of how we can perform these scripts with one another.
My script is called The Big Idea. What's an entrepreneur? My name is Ravi and I'll be playing Nico.
My name is Emsley and I'll be playing narrator.
My name is Danny and I'll be playing Reese.
My name is Dawn and I'll be playing Jules.
All right. And then back to this beautiful presentation. So that's what the 5-day protocol looks like. Again, this was borrowed and then gently massaged from what Dr. Chase Young had put together. As you become more accomplished with this, so the first part is, just give it a shot. So I'm going to divide these into phases. You can see, right? We're starting with this. This might be the first opportunity. We're bringing Reader's Theater into our classroom. You just saw the protocol I do. I explain what prosody is. I use a rubric down here that I've modified for Dr. Tim Brzezinski. And then I would be remiss if I didn't sort of remind people all of my scripts do 2 things, sometimes 12 things. But without exception, like, why are we reading what we're reading? And it's because many of the things that I, especially as a 5th grade teacher, either I'm previewing content, reviewing content, I threw in subjects and predicates. I work with robust, amazing 3rd grade teachers. Somehow they arrive in my classroom having forgotten subjects and predicates. And so rather than doing a full lesson again, instead we can engage in a version of retrieval practice in which they do a reader's theater script about that. 4th grade in Nevada is Nevada State history. 5th grade becomes U.S. history. I've written scripts about all of those things so we can learn key players. I've worked with a lot of highly impacted kids, frequently things that are just we take for granted culturally around fairy tales or around folk tales. Those become scripts for me. So I can build that background knowledge. So that becomes phase 1. Phase 2, we begin to make some modifications. So that's where students, if I farm them out where they're going to be performing some of these scripts, they begin to write their own scripts, which is this whole probably different presentation. And then incidentally, all of this is available at Just Two Teachers if you're ready for any of these. And then the extensions, the one that becomes most delightful as I start doing this following the new year, which is we will ask for content from the primary classroom. So we'll go to a 2nd-grade teacher, we'll get all their student writing, and then my kids turn those into scripts, and then they will perform those scripts for students in the building, which has the delightful part of, right, increases fluency, increases the quality of their writing, but moreover, it just builds community throughout my specific school. So that's the 2 things at once, which I'm going to show you. So this is the website, justtwoteachers.com. So this is a little bit self-referential insofar as like this is all the content I've created. Aren't I awesome? And then let me just show you a little bit of that. And then again, you're welcome to follow up with more questions if you want to see more. So I'm back on the interweb. Here's that 3 phases. Virginia, you can see my screen right now. Okay, perfect. So if I go over here, so there's a whole bunch of stuff if you want to delve into PBIS and writing and the writing revolution. But this tab right here, this is my reader theory. You can see the content depending on what grade level you teach. You can see how some of this might fit with what you're doing. I use some of the resources from, whoops, this will work for me, I hope. There we go. Well, it's being frustrating, but you can see Shakespeare down there. You can see the language standards, living systems, the just for fun, if I can get down there. It doesn't want to cooperate while I'm on. Yeah, sorry. I'm going to try this one more time. What keeps happening is the Zoom thing. There we go. Just for fun. This is a good example of 2 things at once. So there's my protocol, but all of these scripts are on indoor recess games. So whether it's snow days or Nevada, we have a whole host of these now smoke days. So our kids are trapped inside. We have indoor recess. Instead of me constantly just training them on different games, they read scripts about them. They become intimately familiar with each one of these indoor recess games. Then they can train their classmates on them. What have I done? I've accomplished, right, contending with an indoor recess game. Wow, increasing reading fluency in my classroom. I've done something very similar again around math content, always leaning into that idea of just or 2 things at once. Here are those templates I mentioned. So as the kids get ready to write their own scripts, here's a homework outline. You can see, right, I get them started. We're going to go in groups of 3. We're going to do something akin to where we're rotating the pen around the room, but they're writing their own scripts, and that would probably be matched to some kind of content. So I get to prosody, but I think it's a more robust effort than kids engaged in like a jigsaw. All right. And do I have anything else profound to share with you? That's it. So a reminder, that's at justtwoteachers.com, and then you're welcome to follow up with any questions.
And we did have one question in the chat about time, how much time each day you're spending on this routine.
This takes about 10 minutes a day. So they are dialed in. The other common question I always get about is grouping. So that's when you know your kids. Sometimes I rig it. Sometimes you saw on the whiteboard. And then several years ago, I had two boys who were told under no circumstance, I don't care if you're the only two kids in my classroom, you may never work together ever. So ever. Like I still have PTSD. So ever. All right.
And then just very briefly, question for me on behalf of everyone else. Talk to us a little bit about ChatGPT and how you use that particular tool to make these scripts and save yourself a lot of time.
Well, I've gotten good at it. And I think, those of you who've played around with AI, you know that you have to prompt it. But I will say that I've gotten very specific and you kind of train it, which is my prompt now is I need a reader's theater script that's exactly 500 words with exactly four speaking parts. Every part speaks the same number of words. Please choose four non-gender names for me. Then I'll give it the topic, or if you have source material, that can also be better. I'll rig it in terms of, can you also embed these 4 or 5 academic vocabulary words, especially if it's around a content area. And then the other one that you can rig is if you do have somebody who's severely compromised in your room for any number of reasons, you can say, can you make part number 4, every word should be CBC or should match our first grade standards or whatever you want to prompt it with. So there's little workarounds if you know a kid. The other part is if you take those PDFs and you put them to ChatGPT, you can just say, can you make this role Lexiled at a 200? And ChatGPT is highly responsive to that.
Thank you. Any other questions for Virginia or Aaron? Drop them in the chat. Troubleshooting, drop it in the chat. We have 8 minutes, or we'll just leave early.
Aaron, that AI tip is just life-changing. And I know I'm very sarcastic, but I'm not being. That really is probably the best teacher advice I've gotten in many, many years. Really good. And those 2 boys that you speak of, I think I sent them to you. I think there's.
Go ahead, Savannah.
That's who I name my glass of wine after. All right. So nothing for us. You guys have been fantastic. Aaron, I really.
Savannah's got a question, I believe.
Okay. Shoot.
Yeah, not so much a question, but something I was watching in both of the videos that kind of sparked a comment that I think might be worth sharing. So something I'm trying to change in my practice is, I don't remember who talked about this. It might have been Tim Rosinski, but we typically read a passage maybe together as a class, or this is often the routine in classes. We read it together, we do some comprehension work, and then maybe if there's time, some fluency practice at the end, read it a few times, but really flipping that order and spending time on fluency at the front is so supportive of comprehension. So it helps all the learners in the room to access the grade level text perhaps that they wouldn't be able to comprehend after one reading, even if it was a whole class reading it. But after reading it 3 times with a partner or as a script, the comprehension really improves.
I think what Aaron did with us as the example just absolutely underscores what you just said, Savannah.
Yeah. MS had said any tips for special education students, and I can't think of anything that I've modified for them when they're in the general ed setting. Aaron, I don't know if you have any, I wish I could be more helpful, but I don't know if Aaron, you can speak to that better.
I don't know if I can speak to the better, but I think, you got to know your kids. I certainly think we didn't bring this up where the research seems to land, which is if we're doing repeated reading, we can start working with texts above grade level or certainly above where we are identified as being proficient or independent. And so a lot of these texts, people ask me, what are they? What Lexile level? And often it's like, I don't know if it's highly relevant if you're going to work through it 10 times. So a student with special needs, maybe they're working with their sped teacher. It's always really encouraging when parents can be included. So that may mitigate some of it's a challenging text part.
Right. Right. All right. Is that a wrap?
I think it's a wrap.